I wonder if they see the sparkle in your eyes. I wonder if they know that I'm not your guy. I wonder if they see that you don't belong to me. Wish that you could be mine.
Yeah, that's so true, and that's exactly what Calvin said as well too. Like when you do, and that's kind of what I do too. It's at the same time. Like if I always will do my part.
Yes. You have
to a point.
Yeah.
And then it's like at the end of the day, if you do your part, you can't, there's nothing of that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it kind of messes out with me. Like now it's like, oh, Joe, you got to be more direct. You want the girl, you ask her out on a date. It's like, you got to just, if you want that friend or you want to invite them over, like, yo, like you have to just let that out or whatever, or say what you feel like, yo, we haven't really been talking in a while, you know, or do whatever level you are at right now. Is you do your part, then in those times, I think it'll help, because that's always the same exact thing. That shit helps me. Like, oh, I know, like I did, you know, like I did my thing. Like I get, you know, what I did my part, and if they're not here, then that's cool. What else can I do?
Right.
What else can, like, you can't, like, I'm all about these last couple of years, you know, I've been about like taking and removing any unnecessary stress. And that's one thing I had a friend with, we were talking about last night. Yo, no one wants to deal with that. Like, no one wants to deal with unnecessary stress. Nah, BS. Like, you did what you did. You tried to do what you do. And after that, other than that, dub that. I don't got time for no ifs, no ands, or buts. But I kind of wanted to, because you made a very, very good point about the whole, like, with the drug addiction and stuff like that. And I just want to reiterate to people, like, how real that really is. You know, like, you even brought me back to, like, a personal memory with me and my mom. Like, that was a real reason why she was addicted to drugs. Was this whole thing of the whole feeling of that. Like, hers wasn't really more of the people around her just with, you know, personal issues. It was just that people were dying. Like, she had 3 brothers just pass in 3 years.
It's too much.
Yeah.
3 brothers in 3 years just all die. And coming from a home of a very family, coming with, you know, another brother, and then, like, you know, like, you know, you coming from that, and some people just don't know how to process and take it.
Nobody knows how to process that.
That
grief is the
3
same.
brothers in 3 years.
Pain
like,
is pain, but grief is never the same twice.
3 times. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just like that level. Just so that's what happened to my mom. And at that point, she just said, "Yo, I don't want to." Like, it was like, I don't want to be here. Well, first it was, just to keep it real with everyone, I keep it very transparent on this pod. The first was, yo, I want to see why they couldn't stop. So that was one thing. I want to see why they couldn't stop, because I love them, so I want to see why. And then the second one was, yo, I just don't want to be here. Like, I don't want to feel like we were talking about those feelings. I don't want to feel that. Like, I don't want to go through life, those day-to-day moments, without them, because it just hurts too much. So I'm going to literally just numb the pain, because she was very like, oh, I only live for you, Joe. So she's like, you know, I gotta, you know, I'm here for you, but I'm gonna be numb while I do it. And it obviously didn't last too long. But it's like that people do. People go through that shit all the time. Yeah. They just want to be fucking numb through all of that, you know, through all those different transitions of life. And it's like, yo, you can't do that. You have to man up. Whatever the word is, you know, you just got to, like, you have to step up to the plate, and you have to be able to face those feelings, like you said, talk about it, have those days where you cry or you go through it, or even how we started this conversation with the new people that you do have in your life. If you do have those people, you talk to them about it.
Yeah.
Like, it's cool. Like, me and him have conversations all the time about, maybe, I mean, like he just is like, oh, he's done. But maybe me, I'll still process things like, damn, you know, if that person was still around, whatever, like, you know, but he helps me with that. You know, we talk about those things in like a healing process.
It's
you know?
hard. It's hard to do anything in life, but it's so hard to self-assess.
Yeah.
Like, it's so hard to, like, realize that maybe you have a trauma bond with somebody, and maybe that's why they're not reciprocating love, because you guys reciprocate trauma instead. Like, there's so much.
We did this one thing. It's called Letters for Santa. And like, you or somebody you know can write a letter about you for the holidays, right? I love this shit. Like, it almost made me tear up a little bit, right? I ain't gonna lie. I don't do shit like that. But this one did. Somebody else had written a letter about one of our associates who had a crazy life. Dude had a crazy ass life. So then we buy him Christmas gifts. Yeah. So before we brought him down to the office and shit, right? Like, yo, Reef, come on, we gotta get him. You gotta fuck with him a little bit. So I got one of my bosses walking with him, right? And then me and my boy who managed the department together in front. And every like 10 steps, I'd look back at him and I was like, you fucked up, dog. The whole time he's thinking he's getting fired. We bring him in there. He reads the letter. We give him all these gifts. Dude is freaking the fuck out, man. I'm so happy. You know what I'm saying? We helped him hook up his Christmas. He got 3 little kids at home and shit. You know what I'm saying? He's been taking care of him. He's doing his thing. He's grinding. And I was just like, yo, man, I'm happy for you. You know what I mean?
man.
But even though we get to do things like that, I love my job and I love what I do, right? And I make a shit ton of money doing it. If I don't get out and do this for myself, right? I know down the line I'm not going to get to, and I'm going to regret it. You know what I mean? So if you don't learn to bet on yourself from now, what makes you think you're going to do it later on in life?
Yeah.
You know what
like
I'm
you
saying?
we were talking about before, we getting old.
Exactly. We getting old. My hip hurt. All right? I had to ask my dad for Pedialyte. I came back legit. I landed, right? I landed home, all right? Because y'all order so many things on Amazon, I work 6 days a week, 18 hours a day. Now, granted, I'm not forced to do those hours,
Yeah. But
right? They're not like, no, motherfucker, you can't leave, right? But I'm busting my ass because I'm trying to get promoted.
Exactly.
I got that timeline. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
2 years,
So I'm going to do what the fuck I do. I'm going to bust my ass. I'm going to grind, knowing that there is light at the end of the tunnel, right? But the minute work was finished and I landed home and I got to the crib, my body knew, oh, work is done? You did.
I did one of those.
Yup.
Yeah.
You did. Legit, man. For 2 days, I slept and drank Pedialyte. I had to resurrect myself.
Hey, man, you got to do what you got to do out here.
This shit is crazy.
You know, but and it's good that you. When do you feel like you got the taste of saying, "Yo, I could do it on my own"? Because I feel like not many people, they don't have that. Like they don't have that experience, so they don't feel like. Sometimes people try to watch other people. You know, like they'll watch YouTubers
Yeah.
and they be like, "Oh, I could do that. I could live my life being a YouTuber," or I see these rappers, but some people have to have.
Yo, first off, stop
Experience.
watching rappers.
Oh yeah,
Alright?
because that shit is all fake.
Stop. It's all rented. It's all
Oh
bullshit.
yeah, it's all fake. It's
Stop it.
all of it. But you know what I mean? Like a lot of people see that and that's motivation for them, but sometimes it's never enough to say 2 years.
I feel you.
So what really, if you could think back, right, and you could really think about it, what was like kind of like that taste? And
Well, you know what it was, man? Like before I hit management, all right? Before I hit management, I'm not gonna lie. Like I still had the time to be able to work and do comedy, right?
yeah.
Once I hit management and I saw how basically the way I maneuver through it, the way I do my thing, I can move up fast. But not only that, if I keep moving up this ladder, eventually at a certain point in time, I'm gonna get sucked up and I'm gonna just drink the Kool-Aid and I'm never leaving Uncle Jeff. So
Pretty
I have
much.
to give myself an out. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Yeah.
you're driving on a highway. At a certain point, you gotta get off the highway. You're never on the highway forever.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm on the highway. I'm driving, and I was like, my exit comes up in 2 years, motherfucker. Get off.
Word.
Yeah, man.
That's fire, man. And it's fire that you know you could do it.
That's the whole thing. And this is the whole thing. Ready for this? Then I go on tour with me and my boy Phil, right? And Jay comes too.
Exactly. You could bring it.
Exactly. So 3 of us go on tour, and then if it doesn't work out, any jerk off company will hire me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so what do you got
That's
to,
the beauty of Amazon. It's a safety net without even being a safety net.
yeah.
That's why I gotta learn to just. That's why not only me, everybody. You gotta learn to bet on yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Word.
Like right now, you doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Fine, man.
You doing it.
Yeah. And there's a lot of people that I feel like they don't even notice that.
Uh huh.
When things happen, it takes a lot of things to happen, right? But each thing that happens next is a little bit worse for us each time. Like, so we absorb it. Let's just say something bad happened. Somebody went outside, hypothetically speaking, hit my car, right? I'm going to take that, okay? And then I call the insurance company. Insurance says they can't do nothing for me. That's a little bit worse. Okay, it builds up a little bit more, but I'm still gonna take it. Okay, and then I get to the bus. I ain't got no cash on me. I'm very mad now. I'm very mad. And then something else happens. It could be something small. Let's just say someone scuffed my shoe.
Yeah.
It explodes. I explode, right? And now I'm in trouble. Right? So
course.
some people might think that doesn't exist. It exists.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it exists. First, you have to understand that these things are going to happen, right? And be okay that it's like this is going to happen, and you have to learn what you like, and try to put as much energy into what you like to expel all that extra aggressive energy that you're going to have later on. You know, now I have complete control. Like, you know, don't get me wrong, I can still get there. Like, I could get there. Like, you know, you just have to learn how to control yourself better. You know, I wish I could say that you're gonna feel good every day. Like, you're not gonna feel good every day. There might be days you're still upset. We're all, and everyone's gonna say, "Oh yeah, you're gonna find happiness at the end of the rainbow," right? Let me tell you, that road on that rainbow is very long. Okay, it's a long road. Even I'm still traveling on it. And to get to completely peace and happiness, you have to learn self-control. All right, and that's where I'm at. I'm at a point where I'm just trying to learn my self-control, what keeps me together. So what keeps me together is I like to work out. I like to look good. I like to take off my shirt, and I like to see stuff that makes me look good, that makes me feel good.
Okay.
All right? Small things makes me happy. I find the smallest thing that's going to make me happy. I might see something like, I don't know, this might sound corny, a parent walking their kid across the street.
Word.
I might see that, and I get a little bit of a joy, right? I go,
Yeah.
okay, that kid's taken care of a little bit. I find the smallest things to try to keep the happiness meter
Flowing.
going up, you know? So when that other meter starts to rise, the happiness meter's too high for me to go to a complete explosion, all right?
Okay.
I can think a little bit better. It's all about controlling yourself, man.
And balance, right?
Balancing, because when you get to this age, you're stuck in certain ways already. You're not gonna wake up one day and erase a whole childhood, erase all the PTSD and all the depression. You're not gonna wake up one day and that's gonna happen. It's not gonna happen that way. And I wish it did. I wish you could take away all the bad that ever happened to you and become this weird blob of a human being. But we have to accept that bad things mold us, good things mold us too. You know,
Exactly.
so figure out a way of controlling yourself and keeping the bad and good at a nice level playing field, and you get your work done.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Word.
So my question for you guys and everyone that's listening, would you date someone that has a mental illness, whether it be ADHD, schizophrenia, bipolar, anything, you know, as far as mental illness wise?
I would have to say it depends on what it is.
Okay.
No.
And if so, why?
So pretty much there's a lot of, I mean, we all have our own things to deal with on the daily. So if we ourselves are not, if we are barely handling ourselves, how can we also help someone else with their issue?
Cool shit.
That's what I feel like. So I feel like you can't have, granted, two people can if they're willing to, but I feel like if you know yourself and you're not ready to do it, then don't force it if it's not
like
going to
that.
happen. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it depends on what there is and what the severity is of it. But yeah, it depends, man. Like I'm not like, say if I was talking to them and they got their shit together and they just told me like later, then I wouldn't be like, oh no, I'm not gonna deal with it, you know, but because we already invested,
Right.
But it's always also good to know, and like and that's when you ask them like how should I approach it if you were to go through an episode, like what do you want me to do in these situations? And I think the person who has the mental issue has to give their partner some wiggle room because they may not always have dealt with that situation. Sometimes people get attacked and be like, oh, blah, blah, you don't want to date me because it's like, I never knew how to handle the situation. So how am I supposed to know? You got to give me some guidelines or something. Like, I don't know the terminology to use or this, that, and the third. You got to educate me so I can better suit your needs. If you don't educate me, then we're both going to be arguing at each other, and then that's going to put a bad taste in my mouth, and then I'm just not going to do it anymore.
I like that.
So I think that's pretty much the approach you gotta do. You just gotta educate, and then you yourself have to want to learn that. Because if I was dating someone that they couldn't speak and they were mute, I would learn sign language. Especially if we have similarities and we're interested in each other,
Right.
I would learn sign language. But if I didn't have the interest or made an effort to do so, then that just shows that I don't really care. You know.
I like that.
So if you care for the person, you gotta make it work.
Word. I feel you on that, man.
What about you, Joe?
I'm a little bit similar to what Zane said, but to go just a little bit deeper with it, it really does depend what it is. You know what I'm saying? How far along the person is. I don't know if it was something like, if it was so super intense, if I could be able to, you know what I'm saying, on whatever it was. But also at the same time, how I feel about mental illnesses, which I feel like I should start with that first. I feel like a lot of mental illnesses is, it's like the word never ends. Illnesses. I feel like a lot of times I feel like people just get labeled with mental illnesses and they're not. I just think that's just how your brain works. You know, how you learn, how you view things. You know, I feel like everybody's different. So I don't think it's looked at as like when people say, oh, ADD, are you really, is it really quote unquote ADD, or is that just how your body processes, you know, how your brain processes things? And I feel like that everybody learns differently and everybody processes things different. And everybody's just so different, right? So I feel like we need to be able to learn and adapt to those different things. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, for instance, you know, I never was able to, I had really, really bad reading comprehension growing up. Like really, really bad. You know what I'm saying? To where if I wasn't interested in it, and even if I was very interested in it, it would take me a very long time to get what I was reading. And that would really affect me a lot, because in school, you know how it was. You had to read all the time, everything, and understand what you know what I mean? And that would really affect me. To where if I had that one problem fixed in school, I probably would have been like be a student. But that affected me in every single class. But then as I got older, I'm like, you know what? That's just not how I learn. That's just not how my brain likes to learn. I notice now as I got older, audiobooks work for me, or audios, listening works for me, or doing things a repeated amount of times, you know, over and over again, even visually, or actually doing it. Like I'm a hands-on type of guy, you know, because like I said, I always say self-assessment is key. So I self-assess so much that I've learned these things about myself. You know what I'm saying? I could kind of even hear you talk about it every once in a while. I could see it, but I have to actually do it. You know, like I used to work with my dad all the time, construction, and he's having me just watch. That's not going to happen for me. I can't really just watch you. I need to physically have the tool and be doing it. If not, I just don't learn it. So that in school, you know, back and then, if you were to really admit, oh, I don't, you know, I'm not really that good at comprehension. I don't understand what I'm reading. I feel like 9 times out of 10, they would have classified me with something. ADD, something.
Probably. Especially
You
by you
said
being
that
a
with
boy.
me. I had a short attention span. And like when I was younger, I was like, it is difficult to float on water. I went to swimming school. Like I couldn't float. And they were like, oh, he has AD. He has a short attention span.
For one,
my mom lost her fucking mind.
Black people, when I went to basic training, which is crazy, they said black people fail the floating test more than anybody. We're more dense for some reason.
That's interesting.
See, I can't make this shit up.
We're actually more dense, which is fucking crazy. Because there was like 99% of the people that failed the test, the swim test, they were black because they couldn't just dead man float.
Yeah, and people keep coming at your life saying, oh, yeah, all you have to do is just let your body. I like, yo, I can't float. Like, my body cannot float.
That's crazy. And also, most people that's labeled ADHD are boys. They label boys before they label females.
which is interesting.
Very.
Well, like I've never seen any like especially in classroom, I've never seen a student classified as ADHD.
You've never
for
seen it?
no, except for my cousin.
Mm.
That's the only person
And
that
I
I
only know
know.
one female that's ever been labeled with ADHD. When I was in high school, one female.
One, and we know a whole bunch of guys.
Yeah.
But when it comes to female, not so much. Which is like I feel like to me is like that's rare. Like we don't see females. I think it's also obviously it's super biased, but we don't see females as like having their like we always see them focus and not having their attention like all over the place. So when we do hear, we're like that doesn't sound right.
But
Yeah.
we're animals
Yeah.
at the end of the day.
Word.
Like
Yeah, no, you're right.
If you think about like a male animal,
Yeah.
any male animal, you see they be all over the place.
Yeah, bugging
Like,
out
bugging, right. But the female animals be more laid back.
and
Be
focus.
focused. Like, for example, a lion's pride. The male, he's out of doing whatever. And the women are the ones that hunt.
Which is nuts.
Which is, yeah.
Because
And-
they don't want, like, honestly, they don't need the line. They only need to reproduce more lines and, birth in it. But other than that, they can hunt and eat by themselves.
They can. They pretty much take care of the pride by themselves.
Pretty much.
The male's just there. And there's in certain parts of Africa, there are female lions that have adapted and started growing mane.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
They're starting like certain female lions can
That's
grow
interesting.
manes, and also I think I read something that they're able to reproduce without a male.
What?
Yes.
Nah,
It's
yeah,
crazy
I
shit.
believe that. I feel like the female human is probably not
There-
too far away
there-
from that.
There's
And then
in
men are
certain
going to be
parts of the world.
obsolete.
In certain parts of the world, there are females that are able to reproduce. Yes, without a male. Yes,
humans.
humans.
Well, that's your answer.
But of course, you're not going to hear about it. But
No, of course
you
not.
just got to dig a little
of course. But that goes, like I said, back to we all have so many different things about us that like is in our development, our brain, how we learn things and whatnot. So it's just crazy. You know what I'm saying? To like, that's my first place with the whole mental illness. Obviously, so there's many people who are heightened, with those things, and their sensitivity to in those certain areas are very, very, challenging and very, it's tough. But so it really depends. You know what I'm saying? If it's on the surface and they just have like a mild, ADD or something like that, I would just want to look into how do they, like how to really fix that, because I believe fixing it naturally. But sometimes, so when you say that, not like whole, like the meditation and all that, kind of like what we were saying, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like actually like different traits, everyday traits of what we do. You know what I'm saying? Like how are you, like really perspective, you know what I'm saying? And how you're doing different things. If you're at a job and you're having a hard time multitasking, or you can't focus on one thing. Okay, what do we need to do so you can? You know what I'm saying? Like what elements do we need to change? Because not everybody's the same.
I think on that level, I think when it comes to ADHD and trying to work, it's not that we aren't able to multitask. I think we take on too many tasks. That's our major problem. Like we think we can do too many things at once.
Yeah.
Instead of just sitting down and knocking out one thing at a time, we try to do everything all at once. And then that's what kind of fucks you up, because now your brain is all over the place.
Yeah, because you can't focus on one thing.
On one thing, which, and a lot of times people with ADHD act off impulse a lot. Very impulsive. And reason I know these things is because I have ADHD. I know we started the conversation. Yeah, I have ADHD. I have bipolar. So, just being able to focus is like one of those things. And I've noticed a difference from when I was in high school, because all throughout high school I hated school. I couldn't stand school, and my grades reflected it.
Yeah.
But I didn't find out I had a case of I had ADD instead of ADHD. I'm sorry, ADD. So without the hyperactive part, my grades completely changed my senior year. I found out my senior year, like halfway through my senior year, that I had it. So this whole time I had been going through school, not knowing like Why can't I focus in class? Why can't I pay attention to class?
Granted, if you had Adderall, you would have been like,
Man, what? I'm trying to what? Because soon as my mom will tell you this, soon as I got on my meds, like in high school, 12th grade year, my grades went from like D's and C's to like A's and B's,
wow.
all within one quarter.
I feel like that's more for like our generation, because I feel like that sometimes it's just like, you know what, like I'd rather just do this myself. I'll figure it all out by myself, and if I really need the help, then I'll be like, hey, do you think you could help me with this?
Yeah.
Okay. Dan, do you feel like you actually ask, like, or now, or did you, when you were younger, did you not ask for help?
I always did it by myself. I didn't have any siblings. My mom was always working. It was just me just doing homework, and that was it.
So you kind of feel like you were almost kind of forced into that habit?
Yeah, I think the environment, like if I had other people to rely on, which I didn't, then maybe perhaps I'd be a little different. But if you're so used to doing it because you're doing it anyway, it's not even like people are forcing you to do it, then you raise yourself to thinking, I'll just do it myself. I'm not gonna, like, I don't really need you to help. That's what it really is. It's like, well, I'm not gonna go out of my way to ask for help when it's gonna be a potential no. So most people don't even give it a chance to be a yes. They automatically in their head like, I'm ready for the no, opposed they're ready for the yes. You know what I'm saying? They wanna if you have you start your expectations low, generation, so that way you don't get disappointed when you're at the high. And I feel like a lot of people do that, so to the point where I'm just not asking for help. Because I'm not trying to be disappointed. So maybe it's a rejection issue.
Maybe.
Because you don't want to hear no often.
And you said, do you feel like you do that as well?
I do, but the way I grew up, it's like I have 4 older brothers, but the 2 oldest ones, they were here when they were like 10. They came here when they were like about 10. So I kind of grew up with them, but, you know, it's like a 10, 11-year difference between the kids. So it's like, you know, they start trying to do their own thing, and then like I try to be like in the cut and everything. So little asterisk, Liam might pop in like later on. I know him very well. He'll eventually like pop in. So like that's how I used to be when I was younger. I'd be like, oh, you know, try to hang out with the older crew, and then they'd be like, yo, get the fuck out of here. Like, go play by yourself. So I had no choice but to play by myself.
Okay. So do you feel like that's part of why you maybe didn't always ask?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you feel like you've gotten better with it? Do you feel like it was worse when you were younger? Do you feel like it's worse now? Like when do you think?
No, I think it's the same.
It's always been about the same from you were younger until now?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, I will ask for help when I feel like I really do need it. So, for the most part, like, if I know I got it, I'm not going to ask anybody for help.
What about you? Do you think you've always has gotten better, worse, stayed the same?
In terms of asking for help?
Yeah. And not wanting to have that, like,
Nah, I'm still working on it, man. It's terrible.
it's terrible.
It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. I'm not going to even lie. I'm still working on it.
Still working on it.
Yeah.
At least you're aware.
Nah, of
Yeah.
course, man. You got it. And it's things like that to actually make you sometimes think that it's, you know, just think about it. Like, so, like those memes and stuff like that. That's why I like those. You know, that's why I share a lot of those too on the page, because it's like, it makes you think like, oh shit, maybe I'd still do, you know?
It's because, you know, also it's crazy because the moment someone that you ask for help to do something wrong, like, I wouldn't have done like that. And then that's when you just, it's like you just wait for it to fail to generalize it for every future potential situation, because you're like, you expect it to be perfect, but then you're waiting for it to fail.
Yeah, I think that's why. I think it's too. It's for a lot of hard workers, a lot of people that have that hard work mentality too. Sometimes they're just like, if you ain't do it right, you almost look down upon that person like, I should have just fucking did it myself.
Exactly. And then once that happens, you generalize it like, I'm not going to even put myself through the situation. I'm just going to do it myself. And then that's it. You just make that decision. I'm just doing it myself. Say anything.
I feel you so much on that too, because I agree with that. I try to turn these situations like, you know, I'm a believer in everything happens for a reason. So unfortunately, you know, when things happen like that bad, you still have to have that same, like, keep that term, keep the same energy.
Yeah.
Keep that same energy even with that. And when I analyze things, because sometimes I overthink things and I analyze things, I'm like, okay, well, you know, it sucks that maybe their death happened for a reason, but same thing now, like, yo, if someone passed away from this reason, like, yo, my mom passed away from fucking drug addiction and a fucking overdose. So now, guess what? I'm gonna make sure that my duty is to help others with that, and to just
Exactly.
try to get like that's what we're gonna really get to with this brand. Like so much more than that. You know what I mean? Like that's the goal. You know what I mean? To help people in general, but that's a huge goal of mine. You know what I mean? Like, so now I'm like, it's motivation. You know, because it's like, damn. And also you think back, like, okay, what if God forbid, not God forbid, like, what if she never had it? What if she was never addicted? What if everything was just peachy, all that? You know, maybe I couldn't in turn, because I envision myself being able to save lives. And my goal is to save some lives and to save some people and to stop some people from selling that shit. That's a huge goal for me. It's like one of my main goals in life. So I'm like, damn, maybe it took losing her. Like, I'm a believer in God. Anyone that's not a believer in God, that's okay. That's cool. I understand it. But my beliefs is, you know, maybe that's like a sacrifice. I have to sacrifice one to maybe save so many more. It's fucked up, you know, and it hurts. But maybe if I would have never had that sacrifice, and maybe if I would have never had that hurt and that pain, I wouldn't have been able to do X, Y, and Z. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So it's tough, and especially tough when you love someone so much and they're like your fucking best friend, and it hurts, but you have to push forward. You have to, no matter what, and you have to, I guess, find that equation in it. So like that's my equation with it. You know, that's the only way, and that's what helps me sleep at night.
There's always a better day than yesterday, bro.
Always.
Absolutely.
That's it.
Yeah,
That's it, man.
1,000%.
Facts.
You know?
Yeah, and
That's
just,
it. Like, talking about, you know, like, heroin and stuff, like, my friend, I'm not putting him out there, you know, I love him, you know? But he relapsed a couple weeks ago, and, like, that shit bothers me, because it's just, like, he went in a coma again, and, like, I bugged out, I teared, I was just like, dude, like, it's hurting me now talking about it, because, like, I don't want him seeing that, because he relapsed a couple times now, and, like,
word.
and it was just, like,
But you're
you know,
talking about it because you want him to do better.
of course, but, like, I don't know where he is right now. I know he's in a program right now, but
Word.
can't talk to him, nothing. He's just silent, gone, like, but I hope he's doing good now, because he could have died that day. Like, his mom found him in the morning, you know what I'm saying? It's like, he's supposed to go to work, but mom's found him on the floor. It's just like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, thank God he didn't die, like, but, you know,
Word.
but shit's crazy, man, because, like, he told me shut up, like, he was like, yo, bro, that feeling's crazy, man, like, you don't even want to even hear about it. That's how crazy it is. Like,
Word.
shit is fucking crazy, bro. Like, whoever's selling that shit, man, you know, you gotta think about people's lives, man, because that shit's crazy. Like, even when I go home going through Patterson, like, they ask me for change, and I'm like, I don't want to give it to them, but then I feel bad, but I'll give them drinks here and there, you know, I'll give them food, but,
Yeah,
like,
food, water, yeah.
like, you know, and, like, I offer them food all the time, because I know you're gonna get high if I give you money.
Of course.
I'm not giving you 5 cents, penny, whatever, but I'll give you food, like I did today. I gave some lady, she asked me for change. She said, please. I said, no, I'll give you food. She said, okay, thank you, because something might happen to me later. Like, they'll return it. God will,
Of course, yeah.
they'll
good
return
karma.
it. Something, bro. It could be a good ass meal. I don't care. Just give me something good, because sometimes I be having shitty meals, and I gotta switch that up. I gotta, you know,
Word, gotta get you
that
better.
shit in my stomach. So I'm just like, you know, you better give me a good meal, something, man. You know.
Take
Yeah.
Gains Nutrition, y'all.
When it's early on, especially if it's just like, say you and your partner living at home by yourself and there's like nobody else there, especially when they're small like that. Like, so like after my daughter was born, I had postpartum depression. And so, you know, I really didn't like actually realize this until a year later, where I started talking to my mom about it, and she was like, oh yeah, that happened to me too. And I'm like, mother, I should have spoke about this earlier. But it really gave me feelings like, yo, I have to like get away for a second and just take a breather. And I would just go to the bathroom. I'd leave my daughter in her crib where she was safe and just run to the bathroom. You know what I'm saying? Times where she wouldn't stop crying, and it's like nothing that I would ever do to hurt her. It wasn't like that. It was more so I had a fear of her dying or something happening to her, or me dropping her, or something that I did that would cause her harm.
Right.
And like on accident, obviously, not purposely, you know, but it made me want to get away. And then I just realized like I had to kind of, how do you say, like, it's okay to get away, but like you also have to deal with it, because regardless, however long I stay in the bathroom, she's still gonna be crying.
Right.
I still got to deal with
Still
it.
gotta, yeah.
And one thing that I really kind of helped me get away was like doing things for myself, like cooking for myself, or like doing the art, you know what I'm saying, for myself. After she fell asleep, I'm like, damn, I'm tired, but you know what? I have to stay up so that way I could do something for myself. So it's like, all right, am I gonna go get some sleep because I'm really tired? Or am I gonna stay up and watch a movie, or just do something where I could be alone? You know what I'm saying? Kind of like enjoy my own time and really get back to like knowing myself. And just little things that give me joy, reading a book or going outside for a little bit and just sitting on my porch. You know, I love astronomy. Like now, like when my daughter's sleeping, I go outside. It'll be like midnight, 1 a.m. I'm going outside and I'm looking at the stars. You know, so I take that kind of little things because it helps me be a better parent, I think. Because then I'm not running on an empty cup. I feel like I need to take care of her, but I also have to make time to take care of me because I can't be good if I'm not, I don't know, like I'm not full. Like I'd rather my child have a happy parent than like a drained, miserable one. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying.
No, that's powerful, and that's, I feel like what we need to do more, and even with like the person you're with, because when I was thinking about it, when they were talking about it on the podcast, it's like if you ever really do look back, like I looked at, you know, past relationships and stuff like that, and you look at other people's relationships, it's like, damn, how often do they actually spend with each other? Like just then without the kids.
Oh yeah.
And then you think about
hard.
too, you know how many toxic relationships are out there, and like a lot of times that will really be the glue to a toxic relationship.
As a child, you're saying?
Yeah, because it's like it kind of distracts you from the other person. Like everything could be so toxic, but the kid, because you both have genuine love for the kid, so if you're good to the kid, it's like that's not kind of the glue. So you still stay with each other for so long, so much longer than you probably need to be or should be because of the kid.
I get what you're saying.
No, you're right. We could all attest to that. I mean, if your parents, you know, or even like you could see somebody in your life that maybe their parents got divorced or something, and you know, like they stayed together for a long time because of the kids.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, then I'm kind of lucky because my one thing, I can multitask while I'm doing it. It's a podcast. I watch the Joe Budden pod. That's my form of fun. That's my entertainment. That's like my one piece of entertainment. It's a 3-hour pod, and I watch it twice a week. So that's 6 hours out of the week for me.
It's my water over there.
Yeah, the tall one, the big one. So for me, that's 6 hours a week is entertainment, which is a little less than an hour a day. But then obviously I add in other shit that I'm probably just, you know, when I'm fucking around on Instagram looking at fucking, I count that as fun time as well too. You know what I'm saying? So like my total, what? That's fun time. I mean, if you want. I'm not talking about that fun time, Tay. I'm not talking about that fun
Joe,
time.
We're not going to discuss that. We had that conversation last night.
So back to the podcast after that edit point.
That's mad edit point. It's just gonna be a
Comes up
5-minute
firing.
clip.
Here's the throw to the plate, and he is safe at the plate. We will have a challenge.
But so yeah, like I think my average is like an hour a day.
Mine like 4 a day. So
It's a lot.
that's not enough.
For fun?
Yes.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, he said
That's beautiful. 4 hours of fun.
Mine is like 4 hours a day of pure fun.
Just 1 hour will make you love life. 4 hours, you're like immortal at this point. Like it just changes your whole life.
So maybe I need to increase my fun. Maybe
You should.
You should. It shouldn't. You should. Trust me. Like do different things for your fun, not just one.
Like
because I'm not.
I paint and I.
Well, I'm
draw.
not counting like the pod because that's all fun for me.
Yeah.
So I'm not counting that. I'm counting pure non-work is probably a little less than an hour a day.
No, Joe. You need more fun.
We said an hour.
A little less than an hour.
Probably a little less. Because look, this is how I'm doing it. The math. I watch the Joe Budden pod 2 times a week, and actually their pods are getting shorter now. So now it's only like 2.5 hours. Excuse me, each episode. So that's only about 5 hours a week, plus some Instagram.
That's not
usually. No, like I said, Instagram thoughts. So
that's not fun.
So I average a little less than an hour a day.
I talked about
That's
that
not
podcast.
Yes.
We gotta talk about that.
We're gonna show you fun, Joe.
Yeah.
We're gonna show you what fun is. He's like Plankton.
Yeah.
No,
You're Plankton,
no.
Joe.
Yeah.
Not because I have fun in everything else I do. I made sure that like
Plankton had fun being evil.
What?
Plankton had fun being evil. That was his fun.
Nah.
But
You see, yeah.
So no.
yeah,
So I
yeah.
have
Plankton.
mad fun
Yeah.
doing the pod.
Yup.
I have so that counts for me as well. I just can't quantify it because it's also work. I'm just saying
Because-
pure fun only.
Did you hear what he just said?
So it's not
So that
fun.
means it's not fun.
Well, no, it's also work. It's but like
okay, you enjoy doing what you like. You
Exactly.
enjoy doing what
you
you do.
enjoy doing.
like
what
I
you
love
do.
like when I'm editing like Matt's pod or I'm with him like we y'all like when I'm doing all that shit, I love it. So don't get me wrong. I never dread really. I built my life, thank God now that I don't really dread much of any of my day. However, even when I'm doing Uber, I'm having fun.
We
but
gotta
it's
talk
not-
to him after the podcast.
but it's not pure
We're gonna have a
fun.
conversation.
We'll show you what fun is, Joe.
Yeah, we got you.
Other than besides work fun.
Yeah, because we talk on the pod, but we gotta talk outside the pod. We gotta talk.
I just feel in my crazy head, my perspective, it's just like, damn, man, like I'm chasing these I'm chasing these goals. So it's like that's how I see it. I'm like, yo, if I don't get work, if I like, who else is gonna do it in like not enough hours in a day?
We like we're looking at you like wait
Like,
just-
like when y'all like when you say 6 hours of gaming, my mind blows.
No, that was me. I'm the 6 hours of gamer.
No, I
I'm-
do.
No, he does.
I
You
do it
do?
too.
Oh, so
I do it too.
yeah,
Like
that's what I'm saying.
tomorrow, like Sunday, if y'all wasn't here,
To me, I think that's like
I will play all day. All day.
So
I will wake up and play.
So those two, like everyone, I figure like 1 or 2 days a week, I'm like cool with, right? Even though I don't do it, I'm cool, I'm like okay, I get that. But when it's every day,
I can easily
that's what
I can easily pull 6 hours a day on COD.
I know.
It's easy.
But I don't.
For
Easy.
me, well, I don't even call
Like-
it for division for me like easy. Like I'll be oh shit, but I'll be actually enjoying it because it has like this hero feel, like you really saving the day vibe. That's why I like it.
Yeah, my thing is like I have a crew, so it's just like, oh shit, like, hey, y'all trying to hop on? You find out one person is on, so then like everybody get on and you just play.
That's why I don't like watch because y'all know I don't watch TV. That's why I don't do anything because it's like yo, like I'm like I feel capped. I feel capped in my
Yes,
hour
Joe,
a day.
we're gonna, I don't watch TV either, but we're gonna show you what fun is. We're gonna figure out what fun is for Joe.
I know what fun is. I have fun. I know what fun is.
Okay, Joe. All right.
So at the end of the podcast, we like to talk about. We like to give a shout out. we like to give a shout out. So Joe, what is your shout out for today?
What's your shout out, Joe?
The strip club that I be having fun at. All right,
You
to
gotta
the-
shout that out.
I go to the strip club. and
Nah,
I have
you
fun
shout out
there.
the strip club.
I'm trying to think where I have fucking fun.
Nah,
at.
Joe, we're gonna talk after. Yeah, you so you're fun. Your shout out to the strip club. Got it. My shout out is Tay for showing us around and being a great host in North Carolina. I appreciate you, Tay.
Oh, no problem.
That's my shout out. What's yours, Joe? I think
Oh,
you said it
I
already.
said
You said it already. Tay,
Yeah,
what's yours?
my shout out to you guys for coming down.
Oh, thank you.
Oh,
Of 1 day a week, every single week, to talk, or to have people to talk to.
Yeah,
Like I'm talking to either the listeners, I'm talking to my guest, I'm talking to my co-hosts. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
like you kind of I created through the pain, but I created for other people, but then I still created for myself.
Yeah, man, kindred spirits. Yeah, I understand.
I do the events and I do a music therapy night because, yo, at the end of the day, a lot of times I just want to go and listen to some dope music. So I created my own shit. I created what I was lacking in life. You know, I stopped waiting. Like they say that meme, you know, you stop waiting for that boat, and I started building it. Right. You know what I mean? And that was to that point. It was so many years. I'd go through depression just because I'm sitting there waiting. I'm sitting there waiting for the love. I'm sitting there waiting for the girl to show me the love. I'm sitting there waiting for the friends to call me, to invite me out, or I'm sitting there waiting for someone to go to a concert with. Now, like, yo, I'm just starting to either create that shit myself or just do it myself.
Exactly.
Like the other day of my birthday, I went to go see Uncut Gems. I went by myself. Back in the day, I would have just waited until I had a girl to bring
Right.
or something to see. And now I'm like, you know what, man, yo, we old out here. Like, it's got to just start doing things for yourself.
Yeah, you just gotta go out and get out. and get
So
do it.
it's all a process.
Like
but
we was talking before, constant. You know, whatever's in motion stays in motion. You know, so
Exactly.
if you're throwing that energy out, and as long as you keep that going, that stay motion going, that you're gonna keep getting that same energy back.
And then I think when a lot of people are like that, or even just people, even if you don't have those ideologies, you're not usually typically always worried about the money. You're worried about if you enjoy the job, all those different type of things, or even if you are thinking about it for the money, I think you don't realize, I think a lot of people don't realize the amount of money that we should be making, you know, because like the way we were talking about it was like, he was like, yo, $15 an hour in Manhattan, like people can't even survive off that. You know, you can't survive off
They need
$15 an
20
hour. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
It's going to
And
be
then-
different by the state because every state has different needs. Every people, you know, at the end of the day, you got to talk to the people and ask them what they need in different places because that's going to be different,
Yeah.
you know, based on what their jobs are, based on all of that stuff.
Yeah. So it's just, I was like, it's also something even me and Zane talked about recently. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think we've had the conversations of it, and it's even conversations that I try to have with myself, because we always can get kind of like, we get used to it, you know, like they, you know, like when I was 17, you know, who knows what the minimum wage was? I feel like it wasn't too far off from what it is now. I feel like it hasn't changed much, you know? And it was like, I remember I was 17 and I was making like $350 a week or $450 a week, and that was like really good for that age. I was making tips and I was making really good money. And then it's like, even now, like you talk to some people who are making minimum wage, $7 an hour, $8 an hour, and they're making, you know, $300-400 a week. And we get used to that, right? But like, let's be real. You know, I think we all have to have that real conversation of like, that is so far from what we really need and what we should be having, as far as like just for the basic necessities, number one. And then I'm also talking about like, yo, I've been homeless before and it did not happen. It wasn't like, it happened very easily, you know? And I feel like so many of us in this world, and it kind of goes, almost it kind of cross ties a little bit with the conversation me and you had, Nat, a couple weeks ago, but it's like,
yeah,
when you're making that type of money, when you're making a minimum wage job, or you're making a little far away from that, it's like, that's so easy for that to happen. And I don't think people get it. I don't think people get how close and how easy it is to become homeless. I don't think majority of people think about it, because, and if you really look at the statistics, like I watch Grant Cardone all the time, and you know, the numbers are wild when he says about the people that are living paycheck to paycheck. And, you know, I've been there many times. Sometimes I still go through those moments, right? I keep it very real on here. And it's like, there's a lot of people in the world who are like that, or if not worse. And it's like, damn, like, do we ever realize, like, if you're living paycheck to paycheck, what happens if you don't get that paycheck? Are you're not living? And I want to say, man, that the verse, the hook you did on with the song with Rick Ross and Jadakiss.
Oh, Kisses to the Sky.
Kisses to the Sky.
Yeah, that's me. That's my squad. Just me, Molly, Blame Ronnie.
I'm gonna play it in the background.
Yeah, we created the record. The biggest thing too, the misconception is that you get the call and it's
no, this was y'all record, yeah, right?
Yeah, we created this record, and we've done that for most of the features and things like that, you know. So we start with the production, we got the beat going. When I created the hook for it, I was initially doing it for Kiss and Fab, which is why the first lyrics are "Kisses to the Sky, Fabulous Life You Can Live." So I wanted to get it to them when they were doing their album together. But
okay, so this is from,
we created this record in 2016.
And that album was that shit took forever to come out.
Yeah. So we sat with that. We sent it off. We never heard nothing back. And then one day, Kiss's engineer Poobs, he hit me. He was like, "Yo, I got a joint I want you to do." Sent the beat over. I was like, "All right, cool. I'm gonna put the hook on it." And I sent it back, and then I was like, "Let me just slip this in the email too to see if they rock with it." Just to see.
Slip it in. We do that as creatives all the time. Just, you know.
So he hit me back and was like, "Yo, man, forget the other joint, nigga. We rolling with this joint right here." So we did it. I sent it over, and then like a couple of months later, I ain't hear nothing. A couple of months later, it's like, "Yo, yeah, we about to put the joint out, and Ross is on it now, and we need you to come to New York to do the video." And I'm like, "Oh, all right, bet. It's perfect." So
you're like, what?
yeah, shouts to Kiss, shouts to Ross, shouts to Blame Ronnie, Molly. Like, it's
Where can they, if there's someone wants to listen to that record right now, where can they, is it on
Everywhere.
What album is it?
This is on the Ignatius albums. Ice Pick J, guy on my hat, is actually somebody who really got me a big start in the industry. He was Kiss's partner, and he passed. I would say maybe about a year or so ago. Actually, I think more than that. And the album was dedicated to him. So to be a part of that, you know, knowing that he was so intricate in my career was important. So,
do you know if this is this the video storyline? Is that real? Is it real at all? The storyline?
Nah.
Okay, yeah, just gotta ask. You know what I'm saying?
Nah,
you never know.
Nah.
Word. Okay. But I will say the video, like, whose idea of that to have you with the microphone and all that? That show. Whose idea was that?
Director of the video was really dope. Like, I walked in and it was like, all right, we ready. We'll let you know when it's time to go. And they let me know and stand your ass right here. It's like perfect.
I thought it came out fire. Like, I like that look. It shit.
Nah, I love it. And you know, this was my first look after so long of not doing anything. You know, so for me it was important to be a part of the video. It was important to look, you know, presentable in it and to be directed properly. You know, that day was my first time meeting Ross, and you would have never thought that we just met that day. Like, the chemistry and everything was genuine. He rocked with the record. He's like, yo, you killed it.
Word.
Like, all right, dope. So
good energy from him?
Yeah, great energy. Great dude. You know, walk in. You would expect people to walk in and have that, like, don't say shit to me.
Yeah,
but that definitely wasn't him. He 100 with everybody, super cool, chopped it up, and
yeah, he seems like that from interviews. Like, when he talks, you could feel that with certain people.
Yeah,
like,
and
they're human.
He gave great game too. Like, as we were sitting there talking, you know, just on the direction, and you know, everyone has this grandiose idea of how they're gonna make it in this industry, not realizing that there's no direct path into this shit.
Not at all. Right.
Yeah, you make your own.
But you know, it's for me, for the past almost 3 years now, there's been a little bit of a transformation from who I used to be to where I'm trying to go today. And you know, I'll be the first person, and I always have been. You know, no matter what's been going on in my life, you know, for me it's always been internally. You know, it's never been portrayed outwards. But when I see someone who is really battling and is becoming has more freedom in their life, has had more liveliness in their life, you know, and they're promoting this self-love and this self-care and this, you know, transformation that they're going through. That's admirable to me, and that's amazing, you know, that people can do that. And I've gone through that, you know, but I've also been the person who has let ego take over his life, even through self-love, in the time of self-love, excuse me. And, you know, I wrote this post on my Instagram, you know, it was self-love versus ego, because a lot of times, and I see it on people's Instagrams, and I see it in people's normal life, where they confuse their ego with their self-love. You know, a lot of the stuff that they're going through, and a lot of the stuff that they are currently building is ego driven. Yeah. It's not because of self-love. And I know, because I've done it. I've been there. You know?
So you think social media encourages that behavior? Especially with, like, the social media influencers?
I think so. You know, it's not true self-love. Self-love is happiness in your surroundings and who you are, no matter who you are, no matter what time of the day, you know. But ego is just, you know, boom, let's take this picture of myself happy for 15 minutes in front of the Gucci store. That's not self-love, man. That's ego. That's your ego telling you to take that picture.
Got it.
You know, your ego is going to tell you, like, you know, self-love says to you, and this is me talking from my experience only, obviously. Self-love is telling you, take your time, find the right job, do your homework, make sure what's the best fit for you. Your ego says, take that $90,000 a year job, whether you're going to be miserable or not. Yeah. And you know, and self-love, I mean, I've done it. I've taken a career job for $65,000, $55,000 a year, but I was happy. I was happy with my surroundings. But I've also taken that job where it was $90,000 a year, because my ego told me
You deserve to take this job.
Let's do this, you know? And to me, it's just, you know, I talked to Joe. I was like, what's your take on self-love versus ego? When do we know when to differentiate? When do we know what the difference is? You know?
I like that. That is too. It's an interesting conversation. It even kind of makes you think, like you said, like within yourself, like, oh damn, have I ever done something, you know, for ego or for self-love? And how do you decide? Do you think that more the question is deciding like you should know it in yourself or others?
I mean, and once again, like I can't, and I won't talk for anybody. I can only talk for myself.
But I think where I want to start with it is like, you know, we met in college, right? We met in college. How do I explain this? We were popular, right? We were pretty popular, right? We amassed a pretty big following there, you know, just because who we were. But we never like we knew each other, but we weren't close really. We weren't close.
No.
But it wasn't until after college, honestly, like we just started talking. I don't really know how we started really like talking, but we started talking on the phone a lot because, you know, he noticed that what he was going through was exactly what I went through. So obviously, you know, he reached out to me. He didn't have no one else to reach out to, so he called someone that's been through what he's been through. So, you know, we talk about it. And basically what I'm talking about is, you know, it was kind of, I guess you could call it like fall from grace kind of thing. You know, like you hear the famous guy, you know, they get depressed because of all the, you know, basically we were these facades for so long that we weren't really ourselves, and people loved us for being those facades that we weren't even our own selves. So that led for, you know, that led for me, for him, it led to deep depression, man. Like deep. You know, my last year of college, bro, I was in my room for 6 months, 7 months. I was just depressed, bro. Like really, like I never been depressed. I never thought I could get depressed, you know, but I reached a, you know, real low point, my lowest point in my life. And, you know, luckily, you know, I ended up in the hospital because of it and all that stuff. But, you know, I got out of it, and then, you know, life got better. And then he, same thing. You know, we always say we're the same person. You know what I mean? He experienced the same thing. And, like, I told him about it. You know, I told him about it. So he knew. So, you know, he called me. He's like, oh, bro, like, I don't know what's going on. I'm depressed. I hate this shit. Like, because I was speaking the same language, you know. But for me, I didn't have no one to talk to. I didn't. I just thought I was going crazy. I didn't have my band. No one knew what I was going through. You know what I'm saying? So I just had to face it. But with him, you know, he didn't have to face it alone. He had me, you know. So we were just talking about this stuff and talk about it until he finally graduated. You know, then we just start really talking about life, man. We got really introspective. We just started talking about life. And we're like, yo, you know, we've been through so much. And now we're, I guess, woke or whatever. But, you know, now we're talking about all this stuff. But honestly, we feel a little bit selfish that we're only keeping it between ourselves. Like, what we're talking about, we can share this with the world, and it can help people, man. It really can. The show before this actually was called Kill Now, because we were having a conversation, and we were like, yo, listen, but we got to kill every moment. Like, kill the moment. Kill now, right? So it was called the Kill Now podcast for a long time, because that's who we were. You know, we're aggressive guys. You know, we're very energetic. It kind of embodied who we were. Until we changed to a Roe and Joe show, because we're like, you know, kill now. It's not that marketable. It's not.
Can't do speeches out of school.
Kill now. Who is this?
They're like, that's my.
You know,
I love that podcast.
Kill everything
No.
Kill
Johnny,
everything.
sit your ass down. Sit your ass down,
Mom, you
Johnny.
told me to kill him now, so I killed everyone in my school. Like, no, bro.
No. Abort. Quarantine.
So we had to change to Roe and Joe, and like, cause you know, at the end of the day, man, we don't just want this to be a podcast. You know, we want to build into an entire brand. You know, YouTube and everything, man. Like, be on shows. You know, talk at schools. Like you said, we want to actually build it where it's a platform for me and him to express ourselves. You know, and express our thoughts. And we don't want to put ourselves in a box. You know, that's why we also changed it to Roe and Joe Show. You know, because you know, we want it to be a show. It's gonna be, you know, videos and photos of us living our lives. You know, and hopes that it will inspire someone else to live their life. You know, and that's why we created it, man. Honestly,
That's super fire, man. What was your experience with that? That's super powerful.
No, yeah, like seriously, to bundle it up, like we in college, I wish you guys met us. We were so funny. We were some funny characters, but yeah, like
y'all funny now. Y'all funny now.
Oh yeah, imagine us younger, you know, just
in the savage mode.
just a ball of energy. That's all I could like really describe us. But you know, after going through all that in college, you know, trying to figure out what you want because you're on your last year of college, you're like, damn, like I'm not gonna be here forever. And like it's weird because not a lot of people think like that, but you know, like I graduated a semester later, so I saw all my friends graduate early, and like saw how like they didn't even know what they wanted to do with their lives, and I'm like, whoa, all right, you know, reality check. What do I want to do? And then, you know, at the time with friends and everything, it's just like there's so many distractions, so many noise. You're trying to figure out, you know, what direction to go, and it's difficult. So I was like, damn, I need someone that's literally, you know, who knows me and like resembles me to talk to. And like, bro, thank God, because we didn't talk like seriously, like in college, like we were in like the same like clique, like, but we were so like in our own world that it's like the way we got this show started is like, wow, like that's crazy.
Almost the same with me and him.
Yeah, no, seriously, it's like, how did we start? I don't even know, but yeah, it's literally like that. And we're like, yo, we have so many experiences and like just like the following, so like we know people really liked us in, you know, like college and like high school, so like let's figure out how we can, you know, express ourselves but, you know, still give people the truth. And that's why we really started all this.
That's so fire, man. And I relate to a lot of that so much, because that is really why I started, a big part of why I started this podcast.
Right.
Because I had so many things that I was going through that people just never knew about.
Never.
Right? So it's like, and I felt like I've been through like a lot. Like you know, you gotta go through that checklist. Like I've been through that.
Yeah.
Been through that.
Oh,
been through that.
Yeah, that would hurt.
Been through that, you know, and I'm just like, yeah, that would hurt. Yeah, like, and I started feeling like I could, you know, I could relate. Man, that's a beast ass. That's a fucking.
He said he's a professional body builder.
Everywhere, bro.
Professional
body.
body.
Bottle. That's a fucking.
He gotta get his water intake.
That's
right. It's about 10:35. He got two. He got an hour and 30 minutes.
That's a 5 liter.
Ever since I met him, he's had that. Like.
I fuck with it. I rock it. It's just funny. It's just it's real. I love the color too. That's fine.
Well, it's because when I finish it,
I need to get me one of those.
One a day at least, so I know I'm
That's
done.
fire.
Water, you know what I mean?
Right.
So like drinking all water bottles, you know.
Yeah.
He be guzzling, yo.
No, it's true. You know, I was thinking about
Making
doing
me
the
thirsty
same
just looking at
thing
it.
because I'm not counting the bottles.
Right.
One bottle is one enough. I'm like, yeah, I had a bottle. No, you need more water.
More water.
Need
That's
more
real
water.
That's stupid. Oh, make me thirsty now. But you know, I went through so much, and I was like, you know what? And then it got to a point where I was like, you know, you heal out of those different things, and I was even still going through a lot when I started it. But I was like, you know what? I'm starting to go and meet it with a lot of people. You know, and I'm like an introvert, but I also will connect with a lot of people, like just one-on-one. And I started realizing, like, wow, like I've been there in their situation, and I can relate to them, and I give them my perspective. And not saying it's right, not saying it's wrong, but I always usually have a perspective to give them because I've been through a lot of it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, you deal with some people and they're like, oh, well, I've never been through that. And it's like, no, I usually always have. Like just on some side of the spectrum. So I was like, damn, okay, I want to be able to share my experiences from what I've gone through and what I've learned, which helped me grow into the person I am now. And I'm saying I'm perfect. And that's the thing with the podcast too, is like, damn, like, people always wait to start those things because they'd be like, oh, well, you know, I'm not 100% yet, so I don't want to share what I learned because I'm not to my perfect self yet. I don't get, like, I've been able to overcome depression. Yo, the fact that I, like, made it through what I've been through is just validation enough to know, like, yo, I overcame that shit. I didn't fucking kill myself that time when I wanted to. I didn't do this. I didn't do that.
For real.
To me, that's validation enough to be like, you know what? Now I can help someone.
For real.
You know what I'm saying?
For real,
like,
though, but for
you know
real,
how it is.
though.
Like,
Yeah.
You gotta
exactly.
go through hell to really get to really know.
No,
how
like
to,
for real.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's just the process. So I relate to you guys on that. And I just say keep sending that message out because you never know. And it's always, you know, one big quote of ours that we always have and we share on the platform. We have shirts. It's check on your strong friend. And, you know, check on your strong friend, check on your weak friend,
like
check on
that.
everyone. But
I like that.
yeah, it's check on your, because, you know,
that.
you just never know. Like we all going through something. And that's another reason why I started this shit is because, and probably why y'all started yours, is like we all going through something, no matter what. Some people are good at showing it. Some people will vent on Facebook about it and throw rants every 5 seconds. Some of us will put on that strong face and that good face, and or you look at them and they're fit and they look fine and they're not going through nothing, but they probably are. Like we all are going through something, and we all learn something, and we all have different experience. You can learn from a homeless man on the street. You can learn from a fucking anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like someone high celebrity, right? So I was like, you know, having different people on the show, you know, learn something that we don't know about, or could teach something that's been through something that we haven't been through about, or vice versa, you know. So kind of just go hands in hand. So I relate to y'all a lot.
Yeah, nah, bro. I just gotta touch on that. Check on your strong friend. That shit hit me deep.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Like, you don't even know what you said. Like, that's
No, it's
like
so true to me.
because it's like. So what happened with me, right? Was I was the leader, right, of my pack in college, if you want to call it that. Right? I was the oldest, so like we talked about before about, I was a leader, so I had to be strong. You know what I'm saying? Like, we do parties. Like for our college, it was basically if you weren't in a frat, you weren't getting in the party, bro. Period. You weren't gonna have fun. So we had a house and we do parties. I was in charge of it, right? So it was like if I was sad, then it was no party going on. That means my friends weren't gonna have fun. I'm not gonna have that. I'm like, nah, bro, they gonna have fun. I don't care.
Put on that strong face.
Yeah, put on that strong face, right? I remember one time, one party we were having, man. I'm sitting in the middle of the party. No lie, I'm sitting in the middle of the party, bro. My chest tight, bro. I struggle with anxiety. My chest tight, bro. Tight, bro. I'm standing there. What's up, bro? What's up? How y'all doing? My chest, I can't breathe, right? But yo, I got it. What's up, bro? How y'all? What's up? What's up, yo? What's up, boy? Right? Talking the talk. I'm not gonna tell nobody because I don't want them to suffer, bro. None of my friends, they told me not. They're like, damn, why didn't you just tell me, man? Like, and I'm like, nah, like, don't feel bad about it. Like, I couldn't tell y'all, bro, because if I went down, the whole pack would down.
Yeah.
Like they were like, when you left, they said when you left it took the breath out of this place. You know what I'm saying? And like that's the thing. I knew that, bro. Like
of course,
like
yeah.
I knew that was gonna happen. And
Right.
I'm not. This isn't no cock. I know who I am. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Exactly.
know it. He always says it. It's like once I left, I was the glue. That's the word you always use. That I was the glue. So I knew as soon as the glue was gone, nothing was gonna happen. And like I said, I could not see my friends with that face, or that sad face. Nah. So. I'm in, like I said, man, I'm in the mix every night. Did I want to be? Hell no. Did I want to be out there talking to girls? Hell no. But I couldn't show it. But what that does is, man, it makes it worse for me. Because now I'm suffering in private. No one, I'm in my room, door locked, suffering, bruh. He came up one day, man, and we were listening to the song, and I just broke down, man, because I felt that he was in the same place, and like I couldn't talk to nobody else. I couldn't talk to nobody. So he came in and I just broke. I'm crying, bro. I'm like, yo, everyone is fake in front of me, bro. Like no one cares about me. No, and I just finally broke down. Finally, because when you're just a pawn in the pack, you could be weak. You could tell everybody I'm weak. But the leader can't. It's like the coach of a team, bro.
Of course, yeah.
If the coach weak, the players aren't playing the game.
It's because people look up to you to that high standard. But people forget, or you even kind of forget that you're human too.
You even forget.
It's a very big song that I love. It's called Only Human. And it reminds yourself that, and it reminds other people that you're like, oh, I'm only human. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times you don't realize that in trying to keep being strong. It's just it's a whole in that. There's a lot to it, but that strong front mentality is something I always like to bring up to people, because people always know the person who looks suicidal. People always see that. They see the person who looks sad, but they don't ever see sometimes because the people that like, I'm very good at it. I could be depressed as fuck. I could be, and you'll never know.
Robin Williams, prime
Exactly.
example.
Yeah.
This dude that made our fucking childhood. That shit hit me. Like, out of all the celebrity, I was just like, yo, like, what?
Like, what?
I was like,
sometimes that humor and sometimes being that strong is kind of like your fuel to help you what you're going through. You know what I'm saying? Like to be that strong friend, or to be that person that you could relate with others or take in from other people and help. Like you're using that. Like I heard one time someone say doing that is actually like you're taking from them. You don't even realize it. Like you're the bad person in that situation because you're taking from them. You're being strong for them, taking their energy in to help cope your shit and to be strong. So you're like the biggest taker.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? Like when
That's exactly what it is.
right?
Yeah.
When you think about it like that, like you're doing that to just suppress what you're going through. You're saying I'm being right there for you. I'm being strong for you. I'm going through that, but you're doing that to kind of just get through what you're going through.
Yeah.
And it's like you're actually taking from them. So there's so many different perspectives to it, so many sides to it. I was always that person. Now, thank God, I try to be very, very open. I found people. I found this guy, my guy Anthony. Before I keep my circle to where I be very open. Even this podcast, I've mentioned, I let people know my story, things I've gone through, how I felt. Before that, it was just always just strong for you just don't know, and then, until you fucking just want to lose it.
Yeah. And I have an anger issue, so not people don't know because I'm always laughing. But in reality, that's just that's a defense mechanism. Because it's just always like I'll laugh first before someone gets hit. But I'm laughing, I'm like you know what I'm saying? That's like the last of it to decay until I fucking just snap. But like the anger, it's not. It's just like I don't know. The anger is more so not being able to do something, opposed to like little shit bothers me. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember kids would be picking on me or something like that, and I wanted to fucking shake them up and just fucking just wail on them. But my mom, single parent, I was like, I don't want to give this woman no fucking stress. She's already gone through it already, and this at a young age. So I just kept all that shit in. Things I don't want to punch people in the face. Things I wanted to curse out these kids. Don't do it. 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 And then that, what in turn translated into fucking bottled up rage. And I'm like, oh, fuck. What am I going to do with this? So I had to figure out a way. And there was no Google at the time for me to research this shit or YouTube. So I said, you know, I'm going to play fighting games. I'm going to lose myself in video games. You know what I'm saying? That was my outlet. Sports kind of helped, but I didn't use it more so for like me. But I did, when I was running, I did run till I exhausted my fucking anger. To the point where I felt like I was flying. I'm like, I'm going to fucking just, whatever that rage is, bro, let that shit out. And so my freshman year, I sucked. Yeah, I was new to the sport thing. But because I went to the doctor and I had like a slight heart murmur, so I was afraid that if I pumped it even a little more, that my heart was gonna give out. So year one, I was like, I'm not taking any chance. For some reason, the anger picked up again. Year two, all the way out, didn't give a fuck. I was like, yo, I'll fucking pass out the finish line. If I die at the finish line, that's it. So that, it just changed the mentality of like the rage and anger. And then I was just like, all right, well, your outlet is either sports, video games, but you can't punch no walls. And that was it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I was able to help people who have anger issues, kind of just like, yo, maybe you need to find your outlet to let this shit out. What's your outlet? Because you can't be fucking punching walls and striking girls, because then you're going to get popped in the face. You know what I'm saying? That's it. I don't know why that was a thing, but it's not.
And it's all a process. You know what I mean? But for real, like, thank y'all for actually starting that show and doing that and being transparent with it. That's real. Not many people could actually do that. You know what I'm saying? So that's really powerful. Keep it up. You know, spread that message, because and continue, like, because that's being the change that you want to see. You know, you don't want people to end up in those situations, so you're being that change. So that's powerful, man. Thank y'all for coming on too, man. It's been fun. Do you believe that you have to be very, very direct with it? Like, because people manifest, right? And then people be like, oh, well, I want to be happy. I want to do this, or I want money, right? But I mean, I'm a believer that you have to be very, very direct. Do you think that at all, or no? How does that really work?
Absolutely.
More specific.
You have to be clear. You have to use your words wisely, because, you know, you can say, oh, I want it to rain, you know, like I missed the rain, I want it to rain, but then, you know, your house floods. Or, you know, oh, I want a relationship so bad, but you're not specific on what kind of relationship you want, and a relationship comes to you, but it's not the one that you really want. Like, you have to be clear. Everyone should be clear before they manifest. Everyone should have clarity, because how do you know what you want if you don't know what you want, right? And we have to focus on what we want and not what we don't want. It's like, what do you want? Think about the things that you want. What's going to make you feel good? You know, to say I want to manifest being happy, you just have to choose to be happy, right? All of those things are a choice. The way that we feel and the way that we perceive, like you said, perception is a big thing. Whatever our reality is what we're creating in the moment. And it can only be real to us and nobody else. And you'll say, nobody understands me, because you don't see and feel into my mind. But if you take the time to express the way that you think and even put logic behind it, you don't have to agree and say, this is real, this is the truth. It feels like the truth. It feels like it's real. But at any given time, I can change my perspective and change my life and change who I am and begin again. I don't have to be a part of the traumas that I've experienced and be afraid that I'm going to experience that again. I can choose what kind of life I want to create and how I want to feel at any given moment. the rooms are dressed for me, right? It's an ugly room. The shades are broken and messed up, and the couch is all uncomfortable. And then I have a beautiful room with plenty of sunlight, some beautiful flowers, comfortable couch. I choose which room I want to be in at any given moment.
And you choose also how you see it.
And you choose how you see it, how you dress it up.
I think that's just so powerful. I just really wanted to see if you agree with me on that, because I think a lot of people just don't do that, especially because you said it's a very popular thing now on social media and whatnot. But it's like, I know because I started doing it kind of by accident, right? So I started manifesting by accident, but kind of before even it really popped, where people were talking about it, right? And then I started noticing, wow, I'm doing something. I started noticing, but then it took me a couple of times, couple of years to realize, I'm not being direct enough. Like, okay, I want to bring someone into my life, but I brought them into my life, but not how I wanted them to. Or like, okay, I got rid of a car, but it got repoed, not me versus getting rid of it. Like those things, exactly what you said. Like you say one thing and then it goes another way.
I was so stressed last year and I was having social anxiety. Like I had thousands, 10,500 followers. Everybody, like certain people had access to me over the years because I'm kind, and sometimes I respond to the DM. If I've encouraged somebody, I'm thank you, I'm kind. And some people take advantage of you, or they take you on as a therapist, and all of these things. You almost feel bad not to respond to them, but they have nothing but time in the pandemic, and they want to talk to you. And I was like, I was stressed. I was like, I can't do this anymore. This is stressing me out. And then I woke up and my Instagram got deleted.
Wow, yeah.
And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I was like,
nope. Yo, it's crazy. Say that one more time for the people in the back. Say that one more time.
I was so up to arms. I was saying it to my friends. I was saying it out loud, and it was Halloween. And I did shrooms, and I was up laughing like till like the break of dawn. And then I tried to go into Instagram, and it didn't let me log in, and I was locked out. And I emailed Instagram maybe 10 times, and I even tried to be like legal about it. Like, I'm using this for marketing. You're messing with my business. And like, I even found out that somebody was pretending to be me so they can do cash schemes and shit like that. And I was so stressed, and I sent that to them, and that one still exists. And I was like, all right, you know what? I'm just going to chalk it up. The universe works for me and not against me. And maybe, so what if I can't post a link in my story? I'm just gonna have to rebuild, and I can't lie. Like,
no, we're gonna rebuild right now. Go follow her right now. We're gonna rebuild.
I can't lie. It's been really nice to just refresh.
So like we would go out 18, 19 drinking and stuff
Of course,
that,
yeah.
and then hanging around with some people, meeting people, just getting involved with like 5 milligram Percocets here and there, a recreational thing,
Yeah.
and that's how it starts. And you don't think about it as an 18, 19-year-old kid thinking that it's going to lead into something like that until it actually does, because opioids they're the devil, bro.
Hell yeah.
You already know that, dude. Like,
No.
and I know you've been through some shit too. I just don't want to keep on talking here because I could
No,
talk
of
forever,
course.
bro. I really
But-
could. I really could.
So, because the only reason I asked that too is because, there's kids out there, you know what I'm saying? Like I have a 13, about to be 14-year-old stepdaughter. You know what I'm saying? There's people out here that listening to have kids and stuff like that. And it's like, I just wanted, because I know you were young, you know what I'm saying? Like you were 18, 19. So it was like, that was the thing. Like, what was that moment? You know what I'm saying? For you, like someone gave it, like you said, someone gave it to you. You thought you were just chilling, having fun. You know what I'm saying? You thought it was just
For
like
real,
something
dude.
that you can get over. You didn't think addiction was going to come from it.
Oh, absolutely not, dude. Like, I don't think anybody ever thinks addiction is going to come from anything. And that's my mindset on it. Like, you don't wake up one day being like, yo, I'm going to be a drug addict today.
Mm.
Like, yo, this is what I want to do in my life. Like, I'm going to strive to be a drug addict, bro.
Yeah, nobody.
Nah, man. It just, shit happens in your life, dude, that, you don't know how to cope or deal with, and you resort to that kind of things, It's temptation.
Yeah.
I'm definitely like, I'm a risk taker, and
yeah.
I just, like I said, dude, I don't know exactly like the first time I ever did. It was probably 18, 19, 20, around there. And it just develops.
When do you feel like, because you're 18, 19, when did it kind of hit you that you shouldn't have been doing it?
honestly.
Yeah.
Until I got arrested and locked up, like for the last time. Yeah, man.
So it took. So you. It
I
was
would
just-
seriously
it was
be
just-
honest, man.
So it was like a snowball. It was just.
Yeah, man, but it didn't get that bad until like my dad passed away. Like,
Yeah.
it wasn't crazy, dude. Like I was still only doing like 10 milligram Percocets.
Yeah.
Like, and then once he passed away, it was a rough time. That was my best friend.
Yeah.
You know, my dad was my best friend. We did everything together. We watched the Mets games every single night. We called each other Big Pal, Big Dad, Big Dan. We had our own pound handshakes.
Yeah.
And
extreme to where you need like at least 2 accountability partners for the average person, I feel like, to really do it. And it's tough because people work, people have lives. You know, people can't be sitting like, yo, when I was like 10, you know, helping my mom go through her withdrawals, I had to sit by her bed and hold the comforter down to the bed because any little bit of air, she would be freezing cold. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how real it was. I'm 10 years old helping my mom out while she's kicking fucking heroin. You know what I mean? She'd have to be wrapped up in blankets because if not, she's screaming because of how cold she is trying to kick the drugs. So it's so much harder than what people understand. You know, some people are going to take that pain differently than others, and I understand that. Maybe she was weak. Maybe other people were weak, and maybe they could do it stronger. I get that. Everyone's tolerance is different. But at the same time, it's just not as easy as what people think. You know what I mean? And it's like, you know, those moments, yeah, she would always relapse and get back to it. But those moments, if I wasn't there, she wouldn't have been able to kick it at that point. She wouldn't have been able to. And, you know, as we're older and as we have, you know, lives and people are working and shit like that, you just can't. You don't got the time for that. You know, even with me, as I got older, like, it's not even sorry. It's like, yo, I wish I could. But I physically can't, especially, unfortunately, with the lifestyle we all have, that you got to work and you got to hustle and you got to go to school and you got to do this. I didn't have the time to be sitting there fucking literally babying the person. And that's what you have to do. You know what I mean? And
I completely
then
agree.
the person ends up fucking dead because they didn't have that person that's going to baby them through it. But unfortunately, that's what a lot of them need. You know? So it's like, I don't solely put it on them so much. I put it on, like, yeah, it was their decision, but to get through it, man, is so tough that I think it's so much easier. Like, you know, you could say all that, yeah, you got kids, you know, yeah, you know, it's cool. Like, I always got that question, you know, like, I'll be like, damn, like, you know, yeah, you love me, but you ain't love me enough to stop. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't love me enough to quit the drugs so you could be alive. But you could say that, but you can't go to sleep with that at night because you know how hard it is for that person to really kick it, you know? And people will tell you, you know, it's not just that situation. It's just people will tell you how hard it is. It's not as easy as what people think. And unfortunately, if you never do it, you don't really know, or unless you've really been there with someone who has tried to kick it and you've been through those processes and you've been through those withdrawals, you know, you've seen how people act, you've seen how it gets, you'll never know, you know? And some people will know. Some people have been there and they'll just say, well, you know what, I gotta suck it up. You know, sometimes a little deeper than suck it up. You know, sometimes it's a little harder. And it's just that's why they have rehabs. That's why they have those situations. Because you just can't, it's so much harder than what people say. And then, you know, when even people that go through the rehabs, they'll do the whole thing. They'll kick it. They'll go through the whole entire process of it. And then they get out. And then it's like, okay, you now you need someone to help you and be by your side for the physical aspect, the mental aspect. You have to now be, you know, molded that way and make sure you're good that way. Because if not, guess what? It's just going to be a recurring cycle. So it's just like,
exactly.
That's
like
what
I said,
what's up?
Like I was saying, that toxic cycle that you're starting to create.
Yeah, and it's just, that's why it's like, to me, it's just so much deeper than just, like they can't be even to me, man. They can't even be close to even, just because of that, because of how hard it is to stop, you know. I don't know. There's there's so much into it. You know what I mean? There's so much stuff to it. Again, that's a topic that is very interesting. I can't wait to hear Zane's and Nat's opinion on that.
I would love to know everyone's opinion on that. I'd love to know Marv's, everybody, man. Just because it's, and I can see why people say all sides, but it's just something. It's not that easy. But I think that's about it. Tay, you got anything else on that or no?
No.
I could only imagine, like, did you have like a sex marathon in the bathroom that the fucking sink fell off, and then you're like, no, that sink is really high. It's not even like at the right height.
Nah, it is rough.
Well, I mean, good thing nothing really happened there, because if it did, then it would.
That would have been
one hell of a moment. I'm like, I guess we're done here.
The only thing you could you would have to continue that. If you brought it to the
Your foot is there.
If you brought it to the sink, that means y'all with it. Like that means like y'all are like in the mode.
The sink too.
We're gonna stay the sink too until you got a faucet in your ass, because
exactly.
you know,
right. And then there's
listens.
water everywhere, and then you're just like, what just happened?
Yo, at least no water came out. Like, yo.
That would have
been horrible, dude.
Oh no. Good thing. Good
Bro.
thing. You're very fortunate.